Welcome. You have been designated for Oblivion.
4 years after the opening of one of the best roller coasters in the world, Alton Towers was looking for its next big hit, and they found it with Secret Weapon 4, or Oblivion.
What you are about to see will prepare you physically and psychologically for the most intense ride experience ever devised.
Don't look down.
Oblivion, the world's first vertical drop roller coaster at Alton Towers.
Long ago in the heart of England, there was a beautiful house called Alton Towers. It was owned by a rich earl and was said to be the finest house in the kingdom.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me.
This ride is perfectly safe. Everything has been designed for your comfort and enjoyment.
If this ride is so safe, why is it called Oblivion?
In 1997, guests visiting the Fantasy World section of the park found all of its rides relocated, except for the Black Hole, and instead were greeted by a huge construction site. With no announcement on what was to come, the only hint was a few banners stating World's First Ride opens March 1998. Throughout the 1997 season, huge amounts of dirt were excavated from the Fantasy World area, creating a huge hole that kept getting deeper and deeper. Guests visiting looked on as nothing had been announced, but something was being constructed.
Clear the area, please. Clear the area, please.
Patrolling the construction wall was a secretive employee wearing an orange outfit and hard hat. On the radio with an unknown person reporting the status of the area as a security guard for the construction. When asked, they ignored all questions about what was coming and told people looking into the site to move on.
Clear the area, please.
This shady individual was the first part of setting up the theming not just for the upcoming new ride, but the whole new land it would reside in. Alton Towers would use this secrecy with the construction clearly visible in the park to hype up its brand new ride before it was even announced. The ride itself would cost £12 million and be built by B&M as the first dive coaster in the world. With Alton Towers planning permission restricted to tree height, once again they would dig down to create the ride's most unique element. The ride would only reach a height of 65 feet, but its total drop would be 180 feet, using the uneven terrain of the area to its advantage and dropping directly into a tunnel, or, wow, Oblivion. The trench dug for the drop was so large, half of the ride's drop would in fact be underground in this massive tunnel.
What it is, the ride in essence is a very simple proposition because it's the world's first vertical drop roller coaster. And that sounds fairly scary, but it's sort of technically incredibly challenging. There's a lot of instances in the world at the moment where coasters have got sort of fairly steep drops, but there are no coasters where it literally goes completely vertical.
As the 1997 season continued, the arrival of Track and Sports on the site gave the first hint of what was coming. This though was the first of its kind and nothing like it had been seen before. Engineered by Bollinger and Mabillard, the dive coaster began development in 1994. Because of the weight of each vehicle, the ride track had to be much larger than the standard B&M models to support this weight. Rather than a long train as usual, it would be a short 2-row vehicle with 8 riders per row, offering stadium-style seating to try and give each rider that front row view.
We interrupt the proceedings to bring you an Oblivion report. A few moments ago, we were informed that a ride car has disappeared. Ride car 2 began its descent and doesn't appear to have come out of the other side. What is baffling experts is that there is no crash scene. There is no car, there are no survivors. There is nothing.
As marketing continued to trickle out during the late 1997 season, at Christmas, a unique Christmas card was released with Santa's sleigh being pulled down vertically. Secret Weapon 4 would also be one of the first rides at the resort that would use its own dedicated internet promotion with a special site just for Oblivion. The ride was finally announced in early 1998 and marketing for the ride was huge, and it became a UK-wide success before it had even opened. Everybody had heard of Oblivion, and it had its own brand of deodorant, featured on cereal boxes, and also featured on news and TV shows such as Blue Peter.
Specifically against youth, we need to throw down an irresistible challenge to single adults to clearly communicate the ride's USP, face down free falling, and the terrifying intensity of that experience.
The ride's image was everything. Early on, the commercial for the ride was planned to be mysterious and confusing. Set inside the blackness of a Hercules plane with a man strapped to the inside of the loading ramp, he began to slide towards the edge before his feet just managed to hook onto the ribbon of the ramp, before asking the question, what's it like to fall into Oblivion? The ride vehicle then falls towards the screen, showing the logo with the words World First, Face First, Sheer Drop. Focus groups found the advert confusing though and didn't understand the use of the plane. In the end, the commercial would have no metaphor of falling, but lots of ride shots created in a studio as the ride was not yet completed. It did feature the words though that would become entwined with the ride. Don't look down.
We advise you not to look down, but be warned. If you do choose to close your eyes, this may be taken as a sign by your friends that you have no bottle.
The whole area around Oblivion, including the black hole, would be rethemed to X Sector, a sinister, futuristic government facility with a military feel.
Next year, this is going to look like a sinister, forbidden place, and no one can really work out what it's all about. You know, there's always a place sort of a few miles away that's got a barbed wire fence around it and a minefield, and you know people that work there and they never tell you what they do, and it's all a bit sinister and a bit secret. Well, that's one of these places, and there's something going on underground.
The fairground theme from before was completely gone, and a new dark area emerged. The ride's queue line would feature briefing videos with actor Rennie Kropinski as a sinister man surrounded by darkness, who explains in detail the physical and psychological effects of riding on Oblivion.
The maximum G-force experienced on Oblivion is 4.5 G.
This is not drastic enough to experience a greyout, a blackout, or even a redout. But it may be enough for some people to experience what is known as a cop-out.
Based on facts about the ride, the manner they are presented really creates a sense of dread while waiting to board. This mysterious man, who in pre-production was named the Lord of Darkness, will maintain that this ride is perfectly safe.
This ride is perfectly safe. Everything has been designed for your comfort and enjoyment.
Get real! This is the world's first vertical drop roller coaster! Free fall! Straight down! You just get to the edge and that's it! You don't see what's coming! You don't know what's down there, and you may not be coming back!
Just sit back and enjoy the experience.
This is it. You're nearly at the point of no return! Hasta la vista, baby! Good night, Vienna! Get out now! While you still can!
Have a pleasant trip.
The queue-line videos really did do an amazing job of making you feel anxious before you boarded. As the cars dispatch, there is one final appearance from the Lord of Darkness.
Welcome to the unknown. Welcome to eternal darkness. Welcome to Oblivion.
After climbing the 65 feet very steep lift hill, the ride would slowly move around the curved track on a unique chain system before slowly tipping over the edge.
Now that's the holding point. That's where you'll be held.
They can't. They've got no idea.
Well,
they're not even looking straight down. They're looking over here.
Beautifully smooth. Look at the size of it.
Oh, what are you right?
About that?
Maybe.
Wonderful, that's smooth. It got round.
The brake system at the top of the drop would hold the vehicle at a 45-degree angle in place for around 3 seconds, though this amount of time could vary, while hearing the words, "Don't look down." The vehicle's released and riders plummeted down the vertical drop into darkness. While marketed and accepted as the world's first vertical drop, the drop is in fact not quite vertical. Since Oblivion's wheels are not spring-loaded like later dive coasters, the drop is actually 87 degrees. This keeps the wheels in contact with the track during the descent and creates a smoother ride while transitioning back to horizontal within the tunnel. Later versions of the dive coaster do have spring-loaded wheels and feature a true vertical drop.
Nemesis is better. it's longer rides, you know.
Oblivion would be the shortest ride built by B&M at 1,222 feet long. Its main feature being the world's first drop into the tunnel before a bank turn returns the ride to the station, lasting just 1 minute and 15 seconds. Despite the short ride though, there is something special about staring right down the drop into darkness and fog. Oblivion opened on March 14th, 1998 to huge success and huge media coverage. Guests ran straight to the brand new area and took their first ride into Oblivion, after queues of around 3 hours, with it being one of the highest capacity rides at the resort. The ride was known throughout the UK and the marketing plan had been a success. While Alton had used their tree line restriction to create some of the most unique roller coasters in the world, it would be noise that would cause them the next issue.
Don't look down.
The Ropers' home is situated around 100 yards from the entrance to Alton Towers, and have continuously challenged the park over the noise from within. In 1968 they moved into their home when Alton Towers was little more than a small fairground and estate. Since then they have objected to plans for each and every new roller coaster. After looking into taking the park to court since 1998, in 2004 the couple began a legal battle with Alton Towers over the noise levels from the park, stating that if you lived within a mile of Alton Towers, your windows literally would shake from the park. They cited the screams from Oblivion, fireworks each year, and concerts were disrupting their life. Surprisingly, they won the case, and a restriction was placed on noise levels, singling out Oblivion as the main culprit. It resulted in the removal of the "Don't Look Down" message that was played when hanging over the top. The judge ruled the use of speakers to display the message induced increased screaming on the ride. Alton Towers were fined £5,000 and served with a noise abatement order. Over the years, the Ropers continued to try and take Alton Towers to court again, claiming the noise was too high and claimed compensation back to 1998. Each time after though, the case was thrown out, and ironically spending more money trying to take Alton Towers to court than they actually gained. In 2011, the area around the ride was redone to add its new sponsor, Fanta, with hideous posters and sponsorships around the area, before complaints eventually got them removed. In 2013, with the opening of the Smiler, it was repainted as a new world's first coaster joined X Sector. The queue-line videos were also slightly modified to only show portions of them. Oblivion though remains mostly the same since opening over 21 years ago.
For some things, there is no rational explanation. There is no way out. There is no happy ending to this story.
Oblivion might not be the biggest or longest dive coaster in the world now, or even feature any inversions, but there's something special about standing right in front of the tunnel as it dives down in front of you into the unknown. I would say that the drop into the tunnel is still the most impressive original dive coaster element ever built, and creates a sense of fear not found in other versions.
So you just want to terrify people?
I suppose for some people it will be fairly terrifying.
Dive coasters have either a love or hate fan base, and the ride relies heavily on that one aspect. Currently, 13 dive coasters have been built around the world by B&M, including a sister coaster at Gardaland in Italy called Oblivion the Black Hole, and the almost identical Diving Machine G5 in Taiwan. I have been on 5 of them, with my 6th and tallest in the world to be the soon-to-open Yukon Striker at Canada's Wonderland. The drop on the first version though still makes a unique and foreboding experience, and when opening was talked about all over the UK. For 21 years now, it really has been terrifying to look down into Oblivion. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Expedition Alton Towers. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe to join the expedition. What is your number 1 dive coaster that you have been on? Let me know in the comments below. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram for updates on upcoming expeditions, and check out our store to get your own Expedition Badge logo t-shirt of your favourite park. A special thank you to our Patreons for supporting the channel, and we will see you next time.
How would you compare the Alton Towers experience to the Disney experience?
I'd say that Alton Towers is very much a UK theme park. It's a UK interpretation of magic. It's delivered in an Alton Towers kind of way. Disney are very good at what they do, but in many ways it's quite different to what we do. We have a reputation for offering something for all the family, but when it comes to the big rides, for instance, we have a reputation for being real innovators and offering very thrilling, very exciting rides in that respect. Disney don't tend to do that. Their rides aren't as white knuckle, don't quite have the edge of some of our rides.